traveling and living well. Today we're in my kitchen and I'm going to show you how to make a sweet tea pound cake. This is a classic, dense, buttery pound cake infused with sweet tea in the batter, and then the whole thing is finished with a simple sweet tea glaze. It is super southern, it is super soulful. Let's get into the details. Pound cakes are called pound cakes because they call for 1 pound each of the 4 core ingredients. I'm going to go through what you'll need for this one. Flour, of course, 6 eggs, granulated sugar, butter. I have 4 sticks, which is 1 pound of butter softened to room temperature, and that is important for textural reasons that we'll get into a little bit later. Vanilla extract, and then of course some brewed black tea. This is whatever kind of tea you would use to make sweet tea or breakfast tea. Brew it very strong because we're going to add a minimal amount of it to get flavor without adding too much liquid so that the pound cake does not get too moist in texture. I also need some sea salt for the cake. In addition to some of this sweet tea for the glaze, we are going to use 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and this is going to go over the finished cake and just add that extra oomph of the sweet tea flavor to it. Now to start this pound cake, we are going to cream the butter. So I'm going to add all 4 sticks into the bowl of my stand mixer. And I was like a food processor or hand mixer girl for years. I did not believe in the magic of the stand mixer. I thought it was just like an expensive gadget. And it is expensive, but it's totally worth it. So we're going to lock it, and then you want to cream this butter until it is smooth and a slightly lighter shade of yellow, which takes a couple of minutes. So the butter is a pale yellow color. You might not be able to tell from the camera, but looking at it in real life, you can see that it's a little bit glossy. It is soft, smooth, and a light yellow color, which is what we're looking for. So I'm next going to add my sugar. This is 1 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, and we're going to cream that with the butter for another like 2 to 3 minutes. So that's a total of about 5 minutes time for the butter creaming with and without the sugar. Then we're going to add the eggs in one at a time. So that is the butter and sugar cream together. Simply gorgeous. Next, we're going to add the eggs, and what I'm going to do is crack them into this bowl first, one at a time, and add so that I make sure I don't get any shells in the pound cake. Once upon a time, I thought it was ground and you could just crack the eggs directly in, and that ended disastrously. So this is what we're going to do. Next, we're going to add our vanilla, doing about 1 teaspoon of vanilla, just eyeballing it. We're also going to add 1/2 cup of our strongly brewed black tea. Then I'm going to pause it and unlock just to make adding the flour a little more easy. I'm going to add between 1/3 and 1/2 of the flour at a time. This is 4 cups of flour in case I didn't mention that before. For a pound cake, as with any cake, you don't want to overmix the batter. That is going to result in a tough cake. Something about gluten, I'm not a scientist, but we're trial and error. I have learned that lesson on my own. So I'm going to, I've already stopped the mixer. I'm just scraping extra batter with this. And then I'm going to finish mixing this by hand. So I have a prepared bundt pan, and what I did was rubbed it down on the inside with just some plain old butter. And then I sprinkled a little bit of flour into it and kind of tossed it around to get the inside evenly coated. Using a non-stick bundt pan from Wilton, one of my favorite cake and cookie pan makers, and I usually don't have any issues with it sticking, but I always opt to prepare my pans because better safe than sorry. So we're just going to convey the batter into the pan. And the batter will be thick and a little bit sticky. That is okay. It might even seem a tad bit dry. But remember, we're going to glaze this with that sweet tea glaze, and what I like to do is poke holes into it to get that flavor all through it, so that is going to help with moisture. I was inspired to make this pound cake by my late grandmother Carolyn, my mom's mom. She's the pound cake queen, and I learned how to make so many different things at her knee in her kitchen. Over the summers, holidays, she always took care of Thanksgiving for the family, and pound cakes were one of her favorites. Desserts were her specialty, and she just created all kinds of unique flavor combinations. And so I thought I would do this one as a tribute to her. I have several other pound cake recipes on my blog and another video on my channel for strawberries and cream pound cake, so I will make sure to link that. And what I'm doing is just kind of spreading and shifting the pan right now to make sure that the batter is even through it. We're going to pop this into the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, about an hour at least. Now while the pound cake bakes, I am going to mix up a little glaze situation. So this is, again, just 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and then I'm going to also take 2 tablespoons of this brewed black tea. And you mix that all up with just a simple little teaspoon that you get needed. The glaze, it smells like a glass of sweet tea because it is just tea and sugar, which anybody from the South, don't let them tell you that there's some secret. Sweet tea is just black tea and sugar. You can add lemon to it, a little twist of other flavors like mint or citrus, but at its core, you have sweet tea, sugary tea. And there we have it. So while the cake bakes, this is just going to set to the side. Pop the cake out, let it cool, poke some holes in it, and then spoon this glaze lovingly all over the top. Enjoy. So the pound cake is baked. It took about an hour and 20 minutes to get baked all the way through. We're going to use the little trusty toothpick test. You can see that toothpick. Sticking it throughout multiple points in the cake to make sure that it came out clean with no crumbs. And we're going to use this toothpick again, so I held onto it. I let it cool for about an hour in the pan, and then to release it from the pan, I have put a dinner plate on top. I'm going to grip the handles of the pan with my fingers and then kind of pinch the plate in place on top with my thumbs, and then invert the plate. And I felt it fall out, so we should have no sticking. Voila! Beautiful, evenly baked, golden brown pound cake. I'm just going to give you kind of a little 360 look. So now I'm going to take this same toothpick, which is like a cocktail toothpick. It's a little bit longer than maybe the typical ones you would find, but I still find these usually on the baking aisle or in the kind of like wine and alcohol section of a grocery store or in a liquor store because they also are handy for like garnishes, olives, cherries, and those kinds of things with cocktails. So I will take this toothpick, just kind of make random holes around the top of the pound cake. Now we have that brown sugar tea glaze that we mixed up while the cake was baking. Just simply going to spoon it all around the pound cake, let it soak in. And that is how you make my Southern sweet tea pound cake. Extremely easy process, which I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, if you enjoyed watching it as much as I did making it, give the video a like. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions at all. And if you have requests for other videos, I'd love to hear those too. I have ideas in my own head, but as always, want to make sure that it's exactly what you want to see. Lastly, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I put out fresh, new content, recipe videos, and more every single week. Thank you for watching.